row over the national education policy in the South. Tamil Nadu Minister Udhayanidhi Stalin has said NEP is another attempt to impose Hindi and his state will oppose it. Now, this comes after the Karnataka government under Congress confirmed its intention to scrap the national education policy, which was one of the poll promises. In an exclusive conversation with Mirror Now, Karnataka Education Minister Madhu Bangarappa stated that a modified state education policy aligning with the poll manifesto is in progress.
I haven't seen our interview, but they are trying to impose Hindi in the way of the new education policy, and DMK will object in any way if Hindi is imposed in Tamil Nadu.
Joining with me, the Education Minister, Mr. Madhu Bangarappa, sir, with us. Sir, the CM has stated that they will be scrapping the new education policy in the next academic year. What do you say on that?
Yeah, we are coming out with our own state education policy. It will be little changed in the interest of children. We have done that, and that was, as you all know, that it was part of our manifesto also. If we have come into power, it is all that people have agreed for these kind of changes. They have changed the government also. So I think end of the day I have to address that. In the interest of children, I think our department, higher education and the whole education department in our state, I think it's going to change also.
And also now the BJP is claiming that the Congress is spoiling the students' life by by scrapping this new education policy.
No, I would like to answer them. If they have changed the textbooks for last year, this thing, and if they are voted out, and if we are in saying that we are going to change the textbook, then which we have already done, I think you have the answer there. You did a mistake, that's why you lost. We have corrected it. I think we'll stay.
Sir, and also now you are bringing up a new rule that we should have preamble in all the schools, so that it will be useful for the students to read what is preamble and get to know what it is actually.
Since in our country, Constitution is the most important thing, and it's a sacred thing for our country and for our living. If we all are there with rules and regulations what we are living, let that essence start from the childhood only, and which is the most important.
Now, the announcement has not gone down well with the opposition BJP. Ex-Karnataka CM Baswaraj Bommai has called Siddaramaiah government's decision to scrap the NEP as foolish, claiming that this is a regressive step for petty political reasons.
The decision to change NEP at this juncture is a foolish decision. NEP is deliberated for several years throughout the country. The very Siddaramaiah government has approved the draft. It's a landmark policy, and if this government thinks of withdrawing it, it will be at the cost of the future of our children. And regional language and mother tongue is also encouraged in this. Instead of that, if these people do this, it's a retrograde step, and I am sure that none of the parents will agree, none of the students, college students will agree, none of the academicians will agree. It is petty political reason they're trying to change the whole thing.
Neha, my colleague, joins me live on the broadcast. Neha, good evening. As we speak about this, of course, clearly, simply put, they are divided by states, but seems like united as far as education and Hindi imposition is also concerned. Draw things into perspective for us.
Well, yes, Nivedna, one thing that's common with every government that changes, whether in the state of Karnataka or otherwise, is the fact that, we see the biggest impact of the change of government happens to be on students. Now, the reason we say this is because each government that comes to power, in any state for that matter, brings in its own education policy for the students. And this time around too, in fact, even as the Congress government in the state of Karnataka has said that they would be scrapping the national education policy that was brought in during the BJP tenure and bringing in their own state's education policy, a lot of questions are being raised by educationists and even otherwise. What is the content of this state education policy going to be like? How is the curriculum going to be? How is it going to have an impact on the students? A lot of questions, of course, that are being raised, but we'll really have to wait and see. As of now, we understand that the Education Minister has said that a panel would be formed, and this panel would, in fact, be looking into, of course, how the panel should, of course, be forming the curriculum, and if not, more importantly, we already saw the kind of controversy that had broken out a couple of months back when the BJP decided to include, certain excerpts of RSS founder Hegdevar's texts in the textbooks as well. So, as far as the actual content is concerned, it is a little preliminary right now. We are picking up that the Education Minister will be forming a panel, and basis this is when the new education policy would be scrapped.
Right, Neha, I appreciate you joining us on the broadcast and getting us all those details and also drawing things into perspective as to what could potentially unfold in Karnataka. But for the moment, we leave it at that.